In Colorado, the current laws restrict where and from whom you can buy alcohol. There have been bills in the past few legislative sessions to change this law. All of these bills have been defeated. The liquor store lobby has been lobbying hard to make sure that all of these have been defeated. The liquor store owners don't want these bills to pass. They cite many arguments, but the real issue is whether or not businesses that can't survive in a competitive environment ought to be propped up by the government. This protectionist policy, which keeps the liquor stores in business and for which they fight so hard, should be repealed. Businesses only exist in order to provide value. The customers pay for that value and provide profits for the business owners. If you can't provide value, you can't compete. Should we be forced by the government to support someone who can't provide value to us? Our economic freedom depends on an environment, on a legal environment, that doesn't restrict the flow of money. People should be free to make decisions with the money that they own. Decisions about how, when, where, and why to spend that money. By keeping these laws in place, the government dictates who can sell and who we can buy from. This is a denial of our economic freedom. They also will say that the selection of products on the store shelves will shrink because the big grocery stores will only carry national brands. But this is also not true. It's not been borne out in other states. Local breweries are well represented on the grocery store shelves of states like Oregon and California. They will also point out that underage drinking will increase. This is also untrue. We are one of only 5 states that continues to regulate sales in this manner, but we rank 9th in the nation for underage drinking. Clearly, our system is not working, and if the system isn't working, there's no reason to preserve it. The current law restricting who can sell is a protectionist policy that only benefits one group. Their desire to make a living becomes our responsibility, and it becomes a claim on our freedom.
So if you think about the law, it seems silly if you really think through it. Why should we separate grocery stores from liquor stores? Why shouldn't we separate, if it's all about jobs, let's separate liquor stores too. Let's have some stores for just wine, some for just beer, some for just liquor. Let's have some stores for just bread and some for just milk, right? So why is this arbitrary distinction between the liquor stores and the grocery stores? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, right? To us consumers, we pay slightly higher prices for beer, liquor, alcohol, and it's slightly less convenient for us because we have to go to 2 stores instead of 1, right? But the cost is borne by all of the population, at least all the alcohol drinking population, which is small for each person. But for the beneficiaries, maybe in Donovan's case it's a big deal. But the beneficiaries is a small group, right? So it's worth it for them to spend the resources to lobby the legislature to keep these protectionist laws intact. But who's it harming? It's harming the consumers to the special benefit of one interest group. I'll quickly address the safety issue. I mean, if we want to reduce alcohol to improve safety, then let's just go back to prohibition. It didn't work then and it doesn't work now. The way to resolve issues of drunk driving is through police action, not through protectionist measures, which has other harmful consequences. In terms of these lost resources, right, we need to remember our good friends Henry Hazlitt and Bastiat, who point out that if consumers are not spending as much money on alcohol, they're not just going to bury this money in a hole in the ground. This doesn't just evaporate, right? They're going to be spending their money on other goods and services in the economy. Maybe they'll have a little more money from that massage, or put some more into their investment account, or spend some more money down at the barbershop. Who knows? Right? So these jobs will not be lost. They'll just be transferred to more useful sources of production. So I do want to talk a little bit about the realistic scope of the liquor market in Colorado. Obviously, not every liquor store is a mom and pop shop. Go into Total Liquor, go into Argonauts. You've all seen these huge superstores. They're the Walmarts of the liquor industry, right? Well, let's not talk about the mom and pop shop in terms of those stores. Would those stores survive in a free competitive marketplace? Well, go to states like Arizona, California, Oregon, where this already exists. Is it the case that only grocery stores sell beer, alcohol, and wine, and there are no liquor stores? No, it's not the case. There are still good, big liquor stores in those states. Moreover, it is a problem in Colorado that we don't allow liquor stores to franchise. This would allow successful liquor stores to copy their models and to better serve the customer, right? So we should allow that, definitely. And certainly we would have a situation where some liquor stores who are able to meet their consumers' needs would continue to thrive. And the only stores that would go out of business are the ones that are not able to meet the needs of their consumers relative to the people who are operating on a free market by mutual consent. So I think it's just silliness to talk about jobs lost. So you have to look at the gains in the grocery industry and then the gains elsewhere in the economy when we're talking about the economic consequences. And we need a realistic, let's stop with the fear mongering. It's not like every liquor store is going to shut down, right? There's many are still going to thrive. And it's not like, we're only going to have Budweiser and Coors on the shelves. Again, if you look at, right now, one grocery store in a chain in Colorado can already sell beer, wine, alcohol, right? If you go into those stores, what do you see? Do you see Coors Light, Bud, that's it? No, you see a wide array of craft beers, all kinds of stuff. Whereas there are many liquor stores I walk into, and they have a very poor selection. I've been into a number of liquor stores with hardly any good craft beers, or only out-of-state craft beers. So I think that there's a lot of fear-mongering going on in terms of what the consequences might actually be.
What is being lost in this debate is that this is essentially a moral issue. This is whether or not we give up our freedom to determine whether or not we get to choose where and on what we spend our money, and who gets to provide that to us. Who is providing us with the value that we are willing to exchange our money for. Grocery stores are more convenient. That's very true. That's part of the value. They provide us with a wide range of products. That's part of the value. We have selection. We have good prices. They have good distribution chains. This is providing us with the benefit, and we provide them with the benefit by giving them our money. Small liquor store owners, God bless them, I'm glad they're in business and out there trying. But unless they can put together a good business model that gives us value for our money, they don't deserve our money. And that's the bottom line.